thanks for joining me. If you are joining me live, that's great. If you're on a replay, which most of you who catch this part of the video are, you will want a tennis ball or a crossball or a baseball or any kind of object that's round and small and has a little, it's not too soft. You want something a little bit harder. You can either also use objects like a book or a yoga block or a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use, I would say, use the yoga block or the books. And if you don't have those, you can also use the foam roller. So these kind of will pair up together. If you don't have that, then you can have something like this, but hopefully you have something and this will be good. If not, I highly recommend that you do get something as simple as a tennis ball. I think they cost like, I don't even know, a little less than $1 or a 3-pack for like $3. So it's super important, and I really love these for my mobility. So thank you. Hello, whoever's joining me today. Tracy, good morning. All right. It's exciting. We got some people on. Adam, all right. I love it. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right, so I was just sharing with some of the equipment we might need today. So a lacrosse ball is definitely going to be utilized in today's mobility or movement improvement. And if you have a lacrosse ball, you might want something object like if you have a yoga block, or if you have even books that you can kind of use to kind of help lift and support the head while we're using that. If you don't have anything like a book or a yoga block and you have a foam roller handy, you can also use that as well. So those are some of our objects, and also I forgot to mention, but we will be using a chair just for to start in. So we are going to get started. Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for joining. I don't know if you heard, but yoga block or lacrosse ball, tennis ball, baseball, anything like that. Foam roller, books or yoga block are also good to have as options. All right, so we are going to work on starting with today's practice. Today's all focused on our neck, and that might include, we call these our shoulders, but these are our trap muscles here. So everything around it supporting our head, so that's our neck muscles. We are going to be working on that. Good morning. Oh, we have a crew today. Good morning, Jean. Get a little cross ball, get a tennis ball, get a foam roller, anything you need. We are going to start in the chair. So I'm just going to put these objects aside real quick so the ball doesn't roll around. And we're going to start in a chair, and we're just going to do, you can start in a chair, or you can start on the ground on the foam roller, and I can show you what to do with that. But we're just going to sit up nice and tall, squeeze our glutes, squeeze our core. You can sit on the couch, anything that kind of works. And you're either going to take one hand and put it at the bottom of the seat, or you can even sit on your hand if that works as well, or even pull your hand to the back if you're able to kind of get your hands behind you like that. Now when you're sitting on the chair and we're up nice and tall, we want to make sure that before we grab and really lock that hand down to the bottom of the seat, that we're rolling the shoulder blade. Sometimes it can roll forward, but we're rolling it back. So we're having a really good posture through our entire core. Our entire core includes the shoulders, so we're increasing and improving our posture here. Sitting too long, a forward neck. All right, so we're rolling that shoulder back. We're grabbing onto the bottom of that chair and anchoring our arm down. And we're going to take our other hand and we're going to put it on the opposite side of our head. And we're going to gently press our head to our other shoulder away from our anchored hand. Now, I want you to be aware, be careful that we're not just cranking our head down, we're just gently pressing it into the other side. And what I want you to do when you're here is to actually use your head and press against your hand. So you're pressing, the hand pulls the head to the one side, and then you're gently pressing your head against your hand, creating some more tension and really able to get into the side of this neck. So hopefully you're doing this and you're breathing, and we're going to release and switch sides. Anchor the other hand, shoulder on the back, hand on the other side of the head, and gently press our head to our shoulder and press our head back into our hand. Keep that bottom arm locked under that chair, holding on tight. Good, relax and switch. All right, so I started with one movement. I meant to start with another one, but that's okay. We're just rolling our shoulder onto the back and gently pressing. And relax and switch sides again. Pressing. And release. All right, so we're going to start with what I meant to start with. Increasing our posture, and a lot of times, a lot of screen time, whether that be not even just our computer and our at-home workstations, but on our phones, sitting on the couch watching TV, we kind of sometimes like to relax and get into this slouch position. And that kind of, we're having a lot of tension in our neck. We have this hunched upper back, the head sitting forward. It's not a good posture to always be in this flexed spine position. So we want to really work on our posture here. So starting with that upper back, even though we didn't start with it, we're going to put our hands behind our head. Again, sit up nice and tall. And we're having our hands just gently behind our head. And we're just going to bring our shoulder blades and our elbows to the ground behind us as we lift our chest and look up to the sky. So keep that core tight and glute squeeze as we bend back, open that chest to the sky, and bring those elbows behind us. All right, so we're going to go back and come back forward to neutral position. So I want us to breathe in, look up, and then we'll breathe out, come back to neutral. All right, so breathe in, look up, come back to neutral. Okay, breathe in, look up, come back to neutral. Breathe in, look up, come back to neutral. Now you can do 2 more like that, or if you have a foam roller and you feel more comfortable, you could also put this foam roller between the shoulder blades. Yep, runaway ball. So between the shoulder blades, so it's pretty high up. And we're going to, again, do the same thing, hands behind the head, open up that chest behind us a little bit more, elbows still pressing back, and come back to neutral. You can do this where your elbows kind of hug into your head a little bit more, so I kind of cover my ears nice and gently, and I bring those elbows in, and then I bring them up to the sky with me to follow my head to get a nice open upper back. And that just kind of help reversing that curvature of our spine that sometimes we find ourselves in. All right, hopefully you feel a little good, or a little bit better with opening up that chest, opening up that upper back. And we are just going to sit up nice and tall. If you're still sitting in the chair, you can stay in the chair. Hopefully as I'm explaining this stuff, you guys are still just doing those movements, but we're just gonna roll our shoulders up to our ears, back on our back and down, really press them into the ground. We're gonna do it again, bringing it up, deep breath in, pinch them back and down. And we're gonna sit up tall, staying in this nice relaxed position. We're just gonna keep our spine, which goes up into our head. That's where our spine goes all the way up into. So we want to make sure that spine stays lifted. We're going to kind of double chin back so we stay over, our head is over our hips if we have a side view. And we're just going to drop our chin down into our chest, but not just dropping it and arching that back. Spine stays lifted, chin to the chest, and we're going to roll our head one way. Keeping that spine lifted, just tilting the head on and around that spine. So we're gonna go one way, breathing in as you go back, and then breathing out as you come back to center, or to the center. Breathing in, exhale. We'll do one more, keep those shoulders down, breathing in, and exhale. And other way, breathing in, and exhale. We're going to the opposite directions now. Breathing in, and exhale. And one more to make 3 each side. And exhale. Just to kind of warm up all around our neck, that's supporting our head. Because even though you might be feeling that pain in the back of our neck, a lot of times it's the shortening of the muscles in the front that we also need to stretch and think about as well. So we're going to take our hands, and sorry, don't mind, I'm not patient with letting my nails dry. Try to paint them for a second. So we're going to put our hands just on our collarbone, put one hand down on our chest, and then we're going to take our other hand and press it down on top of it. Shoulders come back and down, don't let them reach up. And we're going to gently press our hands into our chest. As we breathe in, lift our chest and try to place our nose to the ceiling. All right, so breathe in. And exhale, come back to center. Remember, we only want mild discomfort, so don't push yourself to where it's too much. All right, breathe in, look up. Exhale, come back. Only holding for a few seconds. Breathe in, look up. Exhale, come back. Breathe in, look up. Exhale, come back. All right, so that's working those sides. If you want to try and do that, like side pull, again, you can do that as well. So front, sides. Now we're going to work on our back of our neck. And this is where either the foam roller or the lacrosse ball might come in handy. Let me just grab it. I had a runaway ball. So, choice is yours. We are going to be using our roller or our ball for these next movements. I am going to, if you have the ball, please use this one. We are going to use and work on this upper trap area. So I am going to put this ball closest to my neck, and I'm going to work my way out towards the shoulder. We're only doing one side, so we're going to take it light on our back first. Let me kind of make sure I'm in the frame here. And we're going to place the ball at that upper back, never on the spine. And we're going to let our head drop. So we want to make sure that the ball is nice and secure under our body. And if you feel this here and you want to stay here, you can. If you need and you don't really feel much and you want to keep always that core tight, glute squeeze, we're going to lift our chest off, or our hips off the ground like a glute bridge. So we're lifting my hips off the ground like a glute bridge. I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to reach it up to the sky and let my thumb drop towards the ground. It's okay if it doesn't reach. And then come back to center. Again, let it reach towards the ground. Come back to center. Reach towards the ground. Reach towards the ceiling. Reach towards the ground one more time. Maybe we can get that arm down all the way to the ground. Make sure that that lacrosse ball is, nice and secure under your body, but it's still really at the high part at the trap. So we're going to move that ball out just towards the shoulder a little bit more, still under the body. And you can do this, you don't have to lift your hips up to do the same thing. Lifting the arm, keep the elbow locked out. Opening up, trying to reach overhead. You might feel some stickiness. You know, I feel like pain almost down here and I'm, you know, really tight. So I'm keeping my core tight. Hand back to center. Reaching overhead, trying to get that thumb to this ground. Back to center. And again, reaching that thumb to the ground. Back to center. And we'll do one more time. Back to center. And I'm going to take that lacrosse ball and I'm moving it out again. So this time, you know, I started here, I'm moving out. I'm at this, you know, last third part. This probably will be my last part to actually do. Getting into that meaty upper trap. It's just above that shoulder blade. So if you feel your shoulder blade bone, it's just above it. And that's why sometimes you might need to kind of lift to get the pressure in the position. So you might need to lift the hips. And again, we're just opening and just rotating that arm above our head. And we're coming back. Rotating our arm above our head. Whew. And coming back. And again, one more time, rotate, hold. If your hand doesn't go down, that's okay. And come on back. All right. Gently roll to the side, bring the ball out, roll back, and we're gonna do it on the other side. I will switch and turn over. So we're having 3 positions here. One, again, you wanna feel where your shoulder blade is. We're gonna go above, and we're doing the same thing like we did last week on that like hip. This time we're just above this shoulder blade. So here's my shoulder blade. So the ball is starting here, and then I'm rotating to the side. All right? So those are my 3 positions. Laying on the back, starting with the one closest to the spine. Again, tighten the core. Bring your hand up to the sky. And we're just going to, now if this is very painful, make sure that you're breathing nice and deeply into this. Hips can stay down, they can bring the hips up if you need more pressure. Try what works for you. And let's rotate our hand towards the ground. Oh wow, much better on this side than the other side for me. To the sky. Rotate gently and slowly to the ground. And back to the ground, and back, one more time, and back, and bring those hips down. If they're up, move the ball over slightly, out towards the shoulder, and we're going to, again, either keep your core tight, hips on the ground, or you can lift them, and we're rotating our hand above our head so the thumb goes towards the ground, and comes back, comes towards the ground, and comes back, comes towards the ground, back, and one more time. Good. Work that ball again out to the third part. Again, on that trap, you want to make sure that it's nice and secure, so kind of play around. I like to kind of push the meaty part up so it's really secure around or in between that shoulder blade and the muscle. And we're going to do it again. So hands still rotating. We're doing about 4 rotations of letting our hand go above our head and bringing it back and holding for about a second or 2. Deep breaths, keeping that elbow locked out. And last one, just holding and pulling back. All right, gently roll to the side, bring the ball out, and you can either sit up or and get your stuff. Make sure you're rolling to your side. You can either use your foam roller here or not. We're gonna just finish by staying down on the ground. And we're gonna work on our suboccipitable area. So this is right at the base of the head. And we're just going to, you can stay with the foam roller or you can stay with the lacrosse ball. But if you have a foam roller, we're just going to practice some chin tucks. You know, pressing that chin, having the foam roller at the base of the head, not really on the neck. So you don't want it to be in the crease of the neck, but you want to have it just on the base of the head, supporting the head. So you want to do chin tucks, right? And you're going to do rolling your head side to side. If you don't have that, if you just have the lacrosse ball, you can stay with that. Come here. We're going to use the yoga block or the book or whatever, and your lacrosse ball or tennis ball, and you're going to use your hand to hold it in this position. So we're using it, hopefully I'm still in frame. So at the base of your head, you can even use your thumbs to feel where the base of your head and your skull is, and you're coming up to the center where it gets a little bit more meaty, probably. It's a little bit softer. The spine is in the center, and we're just on the one side of it with the tennis ball. So we're just going right at that base, at that meaty part, spine right to the right side of it. And you're going to gently, always keep that core tight. Hold the ball there in place with the one hand. And we're going to do, again, like we're doing with the foam roller, if you're using a foam roller, is just chin tucks down. Now this might be a little bit more pressure than a foam roller because it is more pinpoint positions. So you're going to feel it a lot more, so be gentle. And then once you've done a few chin tucks, you're going to go side to side, nice and gently, not a lot, especially because this is more pinpoint. And then you're going to move, just like we did with the ball on the shoulder, you move out towards the side. So with the head, we're going to go into a different kind of arc. So we're kind of going down and around, whereas with the shoulder, we went up and back down. So the arc is just more in like a U, a boat shape here. And deep breaths through these positions. Again, you can use the same thing with the foam roller. You're going to get more precision with the tennis ball. So chin tuck still, a little rock back and forth. Oh baby. Good thing I needed this too, and I didn't even realize it. So sometimes if you don't realize what you need, you still come to class and it might not seem like you need it, and then you realize you really did. If I say neck pain, you might say, I don't have neck pain. And then you take it and you're like, oh, maybe I did have neck pain. All right, so we're moving that tennis ball out again, one more side. Chin tucks and side to side. And bring the tennis ball out. We're going to do the same thing on the reverse side. So just starting in the center of the meaty part, just on the left side of the spine now, at the base of the head, holding the ball there. We're going to do chin tucks. So just shaking your head yes and no, nice and slowly. And then bring it back to neutral and go side to side, a little yes and no. Ooh. And then gently bring that tennis ball over to the outside of the head a little bit more. So now we're at like the base of the head, kind of on that bottom of that U. And we're going to, again, still do our chin tucks. And our yes and no. And back to neutral. Bring that ball to the outside a little bit more, holding it with your hands. Some yes and no's. and gently come on out. Take the tennis ball out, rolling yourself to the side before you press up. I think we have time for one more, last one. Sorry. And this is if you have a ball, and if you can bring your computer or your video or whatever, bring me with you. If not, you can do this afterwards, after the video. This is just to work on that trap again. So if you felt a lot of pain, or notice that you have a lot of pain, that you're holding a lot of tension up in your upper traps, all these muscles directly affect the neck. Everything's connected. So that posture, everything we're working on, we're just focusing more on this upper part, but everything we're doing in any of these videos kind of work the same. So I'm using my squat rack here, but this is to mock a doorway. So either you're in a doorway where you can use your hands on both sides. If you can't, that's okay. Try to get one where you definitely have at least one open and flat side. Okay, so I'm going to take this ball. So like we mentioned, we had it on the back, we were laying on the ground, and we're pressing our arms above in our head. This time we're gonna roll this ball so it's on top of our trap. We're kind of going on the side all the way from our neck down. So we're gonna start this ball closest to our neck here, and we're going to work our way out to the shoulder blade, but this is going to stay on top. And the reason we're gonna have this, I'm sitting just to make sure I'm in frame, but you might be standing. Oh, I can stay in frame. Okay, so pretend this is my open side behind the rig. I'm gonna use that ball, place it here and hold it with my opposite hand. And I'm going to soften my knees, core stays tight, hinge in my hips, sound familiar like any other movement. That way I have some pressure, or I can dictate the pressure because I have my body behind the ball and the object. Before I put my head on the one side of the wall, and I can put this ball into that door frame, okay, or that side of the wall. And what we're going to do, you can relax the hands where the ball is on, or you can reach above to kind of help squeeze it in and come back down. So same thing, we're kind of like just using a little bit opposite, because now we're not laying on the ground, we're facing the ground. But just keep reaching towards the hands up and down, or you can take that hand and place it towards your back, roll that shoulder back, and just kind of work on that ball, on that upper trap. You know, this was a little bit far forward. I'm going to come down a little bit more. And now I feel even more in this right position. And you're going to keep working on that. And working this ball after you've done, you know, a few breaths or a few shoulder or arm raises, and you're going to work that ball out to the side a little bit more. So you're going to go working it out to the side. It's not directly at the base of the neck. And again, still doing the same things. You don't even have to move your arm. You could keep it where it is. You can pull it back. We're going to work all the way out to that shoulder blade. And once you're done, come out. Find an opposite side that you can do the same thing of having on the other side. So say it's only one wall that you can go in. You can find another wall in the house, or you can find, or just face kind of against the wall that your hand went on or your head went through, and you're doing the same thing here. But doing that, so I'm assuming everyone's gonna have to take this away and maybe not do it with the video, or I can still talk you through. Hold for like 4 to 8 breaths in that position, depending on how tight you are, how much time you want to spend there. If you're getting a lot of pain and it's shooting up and you can feel that pain behind your eyes or in the back of your head, deep breaths and don't hold for too long. Take it slow and work your way into these positions. We are, using something as a, trigger point, but we're working on a lot of those areas. And if you want to start, even just like what I was doing, and you guys can do as well, just give yourself a little massage to warm up your shoulders in the mornings. It's really great to kind of just we can do that. We can take care of ourselves. Just all I'm doing nice and slowly is just pressing my fingers into that trap and just rolling it back and forward. And just giving myself a nice little massage. It's helping warm up the area, some blood there, and it's kind of mushing around any of the soft tissue and the muscles to kind of help, move things around before we go in deeper with something like a tennis ball, which is going to have more trigger point in a specific area. This can kind of help do some of the lighter ways before we increase it. I have a runaway ball again. All right. Any questions or anything? If you guys want to make any comments, please, we love feedback in any of our videos. If you come back and take this class again, or even if you just take some bits and pieces, let us know. Let us know that it's helping, or which areas of the body that you're finding hurts more. This class is going to be, I think, so far so good, is going to be dedicated to something like this and using certain objects that we have to help with our mobility and our pain that we might be having. All right, well, thanks for joining. I think everyone's still here. I'm not sure. Could be talking to no one. All right, take care, guys. Have a great day.